Hello, my name is Aurelius Electrum. I make a series of alchemical products and just here to explain to you a bit about alchemy and spagyrics and how they evolved and what exactly they are. We're here in the south of France, the beautiful Mount Canigou in the background, and here in the south of France there's a great length of period people have been distilling essential oils from plants, and essential oils are one of the components that we use in the spagyric remedies. And the actual term spagyric comes from Paracelsus. Paracelsus was sort of the founder of modern medicine, and he sort of divided in paths and went with a more holistic approach, utilizing plants and mineral medicines of the time. And he actually coined the term spagyrics, and it comes from speo and ageria, which are Greek terms which basically mean to divide, to take something apart and to recombine, refine and recombine. So essentially that's what we do with spagyric remedies. As I was saying, the essential oils are one of the key components. They're the sulfur component of the plants, and the sulfur relates to the soul. It's the unique qualities of the plant itself. It has the chemical signature in there. Every essential oil has a very unique scent that's specific to that plant, so we consider that to be the soul of the plant. And the body of the plant itself is related to the salt, and the salt is the physical structure that holds up the plant. And we extract all these components by various processes. I guess the third component we should tie in before we get into that is the mercury. And the mercury is the vital essence, the spirit, what carries the life force of the plant. And so basically these medicines are not very common in the marketplace. You won't see them in health food stores or anything like that because there's quite involved in the processing to make them. So they're very unique in that way. And essentially what they are is like a liquid crystal. So they have a lot of energetic properties to them just beyond the biochemistry and the bioactive components and the phytochemicals that you're extracting from the plants. They have a real energetic, because essentially you're capturing the true essence of the plant on its highest levels. And how we do that is first we take the plant and we distill off the essential oils, and that, like I was saying, is the soul of the plant, or the sulfur we call it in alchemy. And the sulfur gets separated and put in a jar aside, and then the plant body gets fermented from that point. So we take all that plant mass and we put it in a big primary fermenter with some yeast, and the yeast acts in a aerobic type action to break down the plant into CO2. It basically eats the sugars in the plants and creates CO2 as gas and alcohol that goes into the must. That we essentially have this big body of water, and utilizing water, it's combining the water and the sugars from the plants into alcohol and CO2. That's why you get carbonation in fermented beverages. So at that point, we drain off the wine and we keep the plant matter, set that aside, and then that wine gets redistilled and distilled and distilled. At the same time, we distill the essential oils multiple times. So we're getting the very finest essences and fractionations, the highest vibrational components of the plants in both the mercury and the alcohol sense, as well as the sulfur and the essential oil sense. Then we take that big mass of the plant, which is called the marc, and we take that into a fire and we calcinate it. And we burn and burn and burn. And burn these plants for days and days. Essentially you get it down to ashes, and once all the smoke starts coming off and your neighbors have quieted down a bit, you bring that inside and you refine that salts even more. You burn them in a small forge inside, and you burn and burn and burn. And those white ashes will get whiter and whiter. They start off gray and get whiter and whiter. And then we do a sort of a water extraction from there. So in the end you get very fine crystalline salts of the plant, and that's its body in its most refined state. Now You have the essential oils, which are the soul of the plant in its most refined state. The alcohol, which has been distilled 7 times at least, so it's up around 96%. And then we have these really refined crystalline salts of the plant. At that point you have your sulfur, salt, and mercury, which get recombined. And when that happens, it's sort of an energetic chemical reaction, and you can actually see when you're recombining the 3 components together how they swirl and integrate, and it basically becomes a liquid crystal at that point. And then we bottle that, and that ages for some period of time. And these tinctures are, as they get older, they actually get stronger, so there's no limited shelf life to them. They're highly preserved, and many times you will pick them up off the shelf after they've been sitting for a while, and if you don't disturb them too much, you hold it up to the sunlight and you'll see the crystalline matrix right inside the bottle. And they're very potent, so often I'll give an explanation. You know, you could take a pound of herbs and make it into a tea, and you could drink that tea and you get a certain medicinal dose. And you can take that same pound of herbs, create it into a tincture, and instead of taking a whole pot of tea, you can take half a dropper full of tincture or 2 droppers full of the tincture to get the similar dose that you would have got from the couple pots of the tea. But in a spagyric tincture, you only need 1 or 2 little drops of this, and it goes under your tongue, and you will feel it just rip through your body before you can even swallow it. You'll feel it absorb sublingually and go through your system. And they're very powerful healing medicines. So basically, the medicinal qualities that you're getting from the phytochemicals in tinctures and standard tinctures and teas and capsules is very highly concentrated. So you really get a big bang for your buck in a small bottle of spagyric tinctures. So